So I was telling a Firefly story when my camera cut out because apparently now I can do 11 minutes and 41 seconds as opposed to 12 minutes and 1 second, which was my first video. So in line with the themes of this video and the live action that I'm talking about, I actually adore that this is happening. Just like I adore that, this summer, despite the fact that it was hard, like I had to put in a lot more work just to get by the day to day, to do my chores daily and all of that stuff. And even now, like, I think I'm at a point where I can start like really working towards like one of the big things is a washing machine. So I don't have one. So I also don't have a car, and getting a washing machine was like a big issue. So I have to go down to the laundromat, which involves putting all my laundry in a stroller and walking. And the last like 2 times I find it's closed, and then I looked at Google and it said temporary closed. But the day that I went the first time, it didn't say that. So like now I'm going, okay, do I need a whole new laundromat? Like maybe there's a way for me to buy a washing machine. But my whole point is all of these negative things that have happened, like that with the washing machine, and with like there's a lot of issues that we've had at the house just for like basic daily getting by issues, that ultimately they're proving to me like, I don't know, lessons that I really did need. I didn't want to admit that I needed, but like things in patience and not being driven by your ego, and things that are more or less not worrying, not being a perfectionist, not putting all of your eggs in like the basket of like, hey, we're human beings in the 21st century. We've got all of our basic needs like taken care of every day. Like, no, sometimes shit's gonna be hard. And like whenever shit messes up, you can't let that stop you, and you can't let that hurt you. So I really do like that the camera cuts out the way that it does. And I like that throughout every step of the way with YouTube, and same with writing and all of it. Like, for instance, I don't even have a book that I can say, hey, go buy this book. I'm almost done it. I'm at page 106 of the final rewrite. I haven't even, like, barely touched it as I'm editing now. So, like, that's when I know. And I'm going, oh, that's good. Oh, that's good. Okay, so that's when I know, hey, it's paid off. I actually like this book that I started 12 years ago. So, like, I started whenever I was 16. There are thoughts in it that are from a 16-year-old writing as a 16-year-old. So, like, I really do really like whenever all of these things kind of don't line up perfectly, because if the path you're on is too easy, then you're on the wrong path. I'll link it all back to One Piece, don't worry. So what I really wanted to say earlier before the video cut out was there's this moment in Firefly, and I find Firefly and One Piece have some really odd parallels, but there's a moment in Firefly when Mal like realizes like, okay, this isn't a job that I actually want to take. It messes up my moral compass, and I'm not doing this. And it's not even like, I can't do this, and he has to question it and stuff. Like, he's just like, nope, I know what's going on now, and we are not doing this. I'm bringing this back. And he brings it back, and the guy that he brings it back to says, when, like, sometimes you see a situation like ours and you, like, do things, sometimes you're in a situation like ours and you do things that aren't the best for you, but then you see the whole situation, and you've got a choice to make. And Mal said something along the lines of, it's not a choice. And that to me that's the difference. That's the definition between like somebody who is just kind-hearted, like at their core, and people who, would take the more manipulative route. They can learn to be kind-hearted, and they can absolutely be like even better people than the ones who are just naturally kind-hearted. But to me, that is like a very stark contrast. And that's something that I noticed in One Piece. That's one of the reasons that I really like I said, they've got some very weird parallels, One Piece and Firefly. Like, they're both like kind of, space pirates and space cowboys and pirates. So that's kind of like an interesting combination too. The haircut. And I love Luffy's reaction to that. Like, the actor, I find he did it really well. And Zoro too, where he's just like kind of humbly like, yeah, that was me. But and Kobe comes with the knockout punch. There. So anyways, so I really like in One Piece that they've got that natural sense of like goodness versus badness, you know? Like whenever he says Nami's good and I need her to know it, like it's not like he's saying like Nami's good and I'm gonna like prove it to her. It's like just straight up like she's a good person and she thinks she's not. And we've all known people like that. And like you've gotta like, I don't know, feel sympathy for people like that. And that's what Luffy was like. It wasn't like he was trying to like force her into knowing something that like she knows in her core or something. Like he just wanted to see her be honest with herself about who she was. And when she did that, she joined his crew because her being honest with herself about who she is led her to the realization that she actually is a good person. He's right. Same with Zoro. Like, he didn't think he had somewhere to be, and Luffy changed that. And that's another theme that I want to talk about. Oh, I'm already like 5 minutes. I gotta like end the video. So anyways, another theme that I really want to talk about is how good of a leader Luffy is. In both the live action and in the anime, I think that they took the themes that were really, really relevant, even though they didn't. One thing that I haven't talked about like at all is how few scenes they actually have in the live action. They condense like 30 episodes into like 10, not even 8. And like the whole thing is like maybe 8 hours. This is like 30 episodes and the pacing is a lot different. Personally, I'm kind of over the anime style of pacing at this point where it's like Dragon Ball Z is probably the most notorious example for it. Like, I don't know, 10 episodes for like a 12-minute fight, right? That I kind of got over, I think around the time I was like 20. But for One Piece, I will still absolutely like handle it because it's part of the storytelling style. And for One Piece itself, it was like, whenever I started watching it, it was because like basically every single guy that I've been dated in my adult life loves One Piece. So finally, like I just went, okay, you know what? I'm gonna like give it a shot. Unrelated to any guys, I'm gonna give it a shot and see what it's about. And I did, and it's fantastic, and I get it. And I also kind of understand more about those guys now. So I kind of wish I watched it first, but it was like pressure. Like, I don't want to get into that right now. It's a YouTube video. So anyways, but one of the things that I really noticed in watching it the first time is probably the reason why it's hard to get, like, you know, if you've got friends that you think would really, really like it, or a girlfriend or a boyfriend that you think like, hey, you would love this series. It's 1,000 episodes long, and all of the episodes have like a good recap at the beginning, and kind of at the end there's like, you know, 10 minutes of and whenever you really put the episodes together, fundamentally it's only like a couple days that they're together, but it's like 30 episodes, like, you know, so it's kind of hard to explain with that pacing. Like, as an adult, we're busy now. It's not like we're kids and we can just go like, hey, let's get home after school, let's watch the one episode and let's go be on our way. And even if we were still young, so like kids getting into One Piece now, do we do that anymore? Or do we binge? So I think the pacing and overall like style of storytelling associated with the live action is actually a lot better for reaching a wider demographic. And some people might be like, you know, they can keep the charts, all I want is your hearts. Like, why do we want a wider demographic for this? It's our show, right? And the reason for that, I would say, is because it's not just your show. It is a fantastic show that anybody who can absorb the themes, anybody that can relate to these characters should be seeing. And that means that there should be a lot of different means of accessing it, including the manga, the series, the anime series, the live action, and frankly, like books, like any other means of telling the story. YouTubers reacting to it, YouTubers talking about it. All of these different ways of accessing it are more ways for people to know of this brilliant story. It is so good. And I absolutely love all of the themes interconnect. Like, I've only touched on the smallest little bit of them, and every single theme makes me go like in different tangents, because not because I'm so ADHD, although I might be. I don't think so though. But not because of anything like that. Like, just because they are so complex. And when we bring those themes out into reality and we bring characters like that and look at like them as a 3D like whole person instead of just like a character on a TV show, it makes it so much more compelling and so much more complicated. Where, you know, you spend like 11 minutes talking about like one single theme, barely touching on the theme, and you're just kind of explaining your setup for what you will be talking about. And then you realize, like, okay, I'm gonna have to like bring all this up again next week. I'm gonna like probably rewatch little tiny bits, not the whole thing, but bits of my videos and just be like, oh yeah, okay, that's what I was talking about. All right. And then go from there. Because there is so much to address. Like Shanks, the way that he acts is exactly what I'm talking about with the contrast between good and bad, and they portray that so well. And the way that Luffy recognizes from such a young age that this is someone worth admiring, even whenever he disagrees with him for, you know, being a coward and whatever, he still thinks that he's someone worth admiring. And then especially after he, you know, loses his arm for him and like proves like, see, he is a really good person. It's not just about like being the toughest guy in the room. It's about being a good guy. Like once he sees that, he literally says he's not ready to be a pirate because he doesn't understand it, but one day he will be a better pirate than Shanks. I love that. I'm going so fast now because I realize the video is going to be ending again. I don't know if I'm going to do another one. I might. I still got so much to talk about. But yeah, I'm going to cut this one off right now, and I'm going to say, instead of ending in the middle of a story, bye. Thank you for watching.